Hi, I'm Connor Queer Lewis. I'm about to tell you today an amazing fact. 78.5% of small businesses fail within their first year. This is absolutely outrageous. It's compelling, it's engaging, it's actually, I think, the most important content on YouTube. In fact, it's so important I'm going to pass you over to our best presenter, Connor Queer Lewis. Over to you, mate. Thanks, Connor. What a guy. Business owners under 30 years of age are more likely to fail. Wait a minute, that's me. I'm 26. Holy crap, I'm gonna fail? That's not fair, please, somebody help me, I don't want to fail. Well, you see, the most common reason small businesses fail is that the market simply doesn't need their products or services. So in this video, we're gonna go through how to build a great team for your business, and then we'll look at a case study of a very successful company, Pixar. So, apart from figuring out the business model, which I will leave up to you, how can we bring in good people, great people, to run the e-commerce store? Well, I'd probably recommend starting with Upwork, Fiverr, or Freelancer, unless you meet somebody in real life.
Hey, good morning, Kanye.
Shut the up.
I'd recommend not going too cheap. People have to make a living after all. My old Wing Chun master used to say, if you pay someone in peanuts, you get a monkey. So Fiverr is more for one-time projects. It's cheaper, but you do end up getting worse talent. Upwork is for more longer-term projects. When you're growing an e-commerce business, the first thing you're going to encounter is customer service emails. People want to know how everything works with your product or service. So hire CS first, at about 15 to 20 USD an hour for a good, reliable individual. But we'll get to the specific roles later on in this video. People on Upwork have had to go through an approval process, which means they're a little bit more expensive, but that means they're also a little bit better. You can ask a lot of questions on Upwork to make sure that you get the right person. You want to hire honest, accountable people with integrity and commitment. I wouldn't recommend hiring agencies. You'll end up with an account manager with a bunch of people behind the scenes. Individuals are going to have a lot more commitment, especially if they're on Upwork working with one-time gigs. Once you've found your candidate, you can ask people a few questions. I find that the best job interviews that you have are when the person that you're hiring can demonstrate that they can do the job in an entertaining and curious way. So, an example, when I was temporarily stepping in as bar manager at Regatta, I was trying to hire a new bar manager so I could go back to uni. This guy Jono walked in one day, looked me straight in the eye and said, "I want to work here." And I just knew straight away that he'd be a great manager. I was very happy to hand over the position to him. It was something in the way that he carried himself. The way he spoke to me told me that he was calm under pressure, and that's exactly what we needed. Now, you can go through an interview in many different ways, but in this video I want to look at two different styles, the direct and the subtle. So firstly, let's look at direct. First question you can say is, what do you know about my business? This shows people have done a little bit of research if they answer with something full of quality. It tells you that they've gone a little bit further than the other candidate. 2, bit of a classic one, tell me the strengths that align with this role. A lot of people are going to answer this professionally. Some people answer it with personality. Hopefully they're not just listing skills with their words, they're conveying that they love their work, they value what they do, and of course their skills really do align with the position. 3, tell me a bit about your career in X. If people respond immediately, it shows that they're self-aware. If they pause, it shows that they're not really reflecting on their career and their life. It's also a good question to see if the person will ramble on about themselves or if they can deliver the information that you want to hear in a concise way. This happened to me once for an interview for a third assistant director on Lord of the Rings. They asked me what my weaknesses were, and I paused. Clearly I hadn't considered my weaknesses, and they could see straight away I wasn't being self-reflective. Didn't get that job. 4, where do you want to be in 12 months? If they say they want to own their own business, it's showing that they're probably not long-term for you in an e-commerce role. It's ideal if they answer with something like, I'm looking for full-time, long-term income with one employer. The thing with Upwork and Freelancer and Fiverr is that you get a lot of small gigs. People are keen for one employer. Freedom comes at a cost. You end up working for 100 different clients and you use a lot of your time applying instead of working. People really value consistent income at the end of the day. COVID and the global financial crisis have incentivized companies to employ contractors first. This way, they don't have to stick with people for the long term. Companies don't want to be left liable to the employee, which kind of sucks for us employees, but you just got to work within the system that we live in. Then you can have a look at the subtle. What do you like to do? This is my personal favorite question. You can tell if a person has a passion depending on how they answer it. The stock answer I find is, I watch Netflix and I hang out with friends. But then you get the occasional person who will dive into their passions. The key for hiring is to hire curious people. Ask them what their workflow is for the intended project. This is going to give you an opportunity to see them thinking on their feet and gives you insight into their experience.
Why are you the way that you are?
So now let's have a look at the roles. In terms of e-commerce, you want to get CS first, like I said. Hire somebody on a trial, 2 to 4 weeks. Then start them on lower hours a week, and as the business grows, you can increase their hours. It's going to make sure that everything's working. And it's more important to find the good staff before you hire somebody full-time. And nobody really wants to work more than 40 hours a week. Then you want to find a fulfillment agent from China. These are also called sourcing agents. They're going to help you source the product in China and they're going to help you brand it. So for $25 to $60 USD, this can be a short-term gig because they source the product from a bunch of different vendors, find the cheapest one, then their work stops. They just help you to get that connection, kind of similar to a 3PL. Then you want to hire influencers or a Facebook ads media buyer or an agency. Problem with the agency is there's a lot of bad agencies. A lot of businesses get burned by using bad agencies. Individuals are going to have more commitment and work better over agencies most of the time. For a media buyer, $25 to $30 per hour. And if you want to learn more about 3PLs or influencers, hit that link in the top right hand corner and see my videos on both of those. Then you can hire people like me to make organic marketing videos. So if you want to subscribe, please, then I can keep my job. If you're gonna succeed, you should try and learn from the best. Now, a great business to look up to is Pixar. Pixar's photorealistic RenderMan was created to produce its in-house 3-dimensional animated movies with high-quality image results. Subsequently, Pixar Animation Studios has made $5.5 billion and received 24 Academy Awards, 6 Golden Globes, and 3 Grammys. Pretty cool. Now, Pixar cultivates freedom, open and honest communication with an effective feedback and mutual respect system with employees to develop the value of trust inside the organization. Egalitarian culture was seen really important at Pixar, and it's allowed everyone who worked there to have a voice and input in the final product, which is their films. Pixar makes sure to keep up with the tech innovation as well, which means that they maintain a really high quality product. They also trust the ideas and innovation directly from employees, which I think is a lesson that we can all learn. The people that are closer to the problem probably know best, and you as a CEO or as a manager can step in when needed, but it is best to let people try and figure it out on their own because they are professionals after all. CS, ads buyers, leave them to it. Now, as e-commerce business owners, we probably want to see results like that, $5.5 billion gross. So let's break down the lessons we can learn from Pixar and build out our own companies with these lessons in mind. Let's have a look at what employees at Pixar had to say. Jiayi, General Technician Director, says, "I've been really impressed by how Pixar actually cares about what you want to do and tries to match you up with a job that falls within the realm of your interests." Rob, an animator, said, "One of the best things about being an intern at Pixar is that you're surrounded by people who are super talented and have common goals to you, like a strong work ethic and high expectations of themselves." Sounds like a pretty sweet place to work. Both of those testimonials, in fact, sound like Pixar is very people-oriented. Well, the number one rule from Pixar is to hire great people and give those people a space to do things that interest them most. As long as the output is in line with the product, everybody's going to be happy. You're of course always going to gravitate towards the work that you enjoy doing most. So if you can set up a company where everybody's doing that naturally, then you're going to have a great company at the end of the day.
To infinity and beyond!
Wonderful. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that you take away some lessons. If you want to learn anything more, please just hit me up in the comments below, and have a great day. See ya.